Hi, I'm Mark. This is my December review for Taurus Sun sign and Taurus Rising. We start the month with Neptune going direct on the 1st of December, and this will be at 20 degrees Pisces. So if you have a planet around that degree of Pisces, you're going to feel this very intensely. And also Gemini, Sagittarius or Virgo, you'll also feel it very intensely if you have planets around those 20 degree marks. Then we will also see the effect that the retrograde has had. If you've learnt the lesson from the Neptune retrograde, which we spoke about back in the summer, then you'll now reap the benefits. And the lesson was to develop sincere friendships and sincere connections within groups. Also, it was to make sure that you developed a positive social life. So if these have been worked on, then you'll really gain the benefit of these now. On the 4th, we have a new moon solar eclipse. This happens in Sagittarius and in your 8th house. This eclipse belongs to the same as the last month's, the Saros 5 South series, so it can bring good news and happy events. Being in Sagittarius, you need to be ready for fast change. Sagittarius is a fire sign, it's a life-giving sign. So this is a time when life will become part of you and you're engulfed in the need for action. So change will happen very quickly. And also, being in the 8th house, it's a time to grow, it's a time for self-mastery, empowerment, it's a time for increased perception and awareness. And also, on a practical level, it could be good for finances, especially finances coming in from an outside source, being the 8th house. On the 5th, it's time to realise any important goals you have, especially joint goals with other people, because Mars makes a positive aspect of Pluto. And these two work well together, so it's good to work well with other people. Mars in the 7th house of others, so it makes it ideal for working on a combined project. Then on the 6th for 4 days, we have Mars making an aspect to Jupiter. Jupiter's in that 10th house of career and destiny. So again, it's a good time to push forward. The only thing you need to be aware of is sometimes with Mars Jupiter you can get a little bit overconfident, so just don't tread on other people's toes too much. Make sure you're working alongside them and make sure you're understanding everything that you're doing, because sometimes you may need to just look at your motives and make sure that you're doing things in the right manner and for the right reasons. On the 7th, the Sun makes an opposition to the Black Moon Lilith, so there could be a dip in your energy. It could be that some fears come up from the unconscious. It could be something that just forms a little bit of a mini crisis. It could be financial, because the Black Moon's in the 2nd house. But whatever it is, it's a good time to gain understanding, because the Sun will illuminate maybe a problem that you will need to look at, and you maybe not have seen it in the broad daylight before. So there can be a lot gained from this. Then on the 9th we have Venus coming together with Pluto, and this makes for very intense desire. It's a very intense energy, and it could be great if you're in a relationship. It could really intensify and give you some fantastic experiences, but it's also in your 9th house, so there may be an intense desire to do something new, or to start a new project, or to learn something. Venus will make 2 more connections to Pluto over the coming months, the final one being on March the 3rd. This is because she goes retrograde. She goes retrograde on the 18th and will continue that way for some time. Usually about 6 weeks. Now, while Venus is retrograde, you can still work with the energy. You can still have understanding of how she works. And one of the lessons to be learned with Venus going retrograde in your 9th house is that of knowing you are on the right path. You have to learn and understand which path you're on, and is that the right path for you? That's the question to ask. Also, the lesson to be learned is to do with the worldview. There are many religions, there are many philosophies in life. You have to have an all-encompassing view, understanding that everyone has different views. On the 11th, your body may feel quite tired as the Sun makes a square to Neptune. You may feel a lack of energy and may not want to plan anything too too energetic. It's a good time to spend with friends, doing something like singing or relaxation, meditation, something of a spiritual nature would be great. But on the same day, your mind could be quite active because Mercury, who rules the mind, makes positive aspects to Jupiter, which expands things. So you could be in a very vibrant mind set. And this would be a good time to plan for the future. Jupiter's in that 10th house, so it's a good time to plan any career moves or any new adventures or anything that would change your destiny. Would fit in well with the Mercury Jupiter. On the 14th, Mars, who's now into Sagittarius, makes a conjunction with the Moon's South Node. So it's an opposition to the North Node. And when the nodes are activated, it's all about balance. So it's a good time to balance your energy, because Mars in a fire sign will be very forthright. He'll be wanting to get on and do things. But you maybe want to do things in a lot of small things, where you've got to look at the bigger picture. You've got to look at the long-term future. You can't just go for quick gains here, because you might be fighting the battles but you may not win the war. So look at the long-term picture, and it may be a time when you're pulled between two poles at the same time. The South Node had a strong pull for the past, and it's very familiar. It's what you're used to, and it's so easy to go down that route. Whereas the North Node in the opposite side of Gemini is where you need to be heading. This is more fearful. This is unknown territory, so this could be a good way to go in that direction for the long term. Now your financial houses will also be activated because the nodes are across them now. So it could be that there's things to be done in those areas. It could be that you need to balance the books. It could be that you need to find some balance somewhere, maybe within what you've spent out and what's coming in. Maybe that you need to work on your 8th house with any loans or any consolidations, or it could be that you just need to work on the 2nd house and make sure that the money you are spending is going in the right places. On the 16th, we revisit the biggest aspect of the year. That's the Saturn square to Uranus. And this is the 3rd time we've looked at this during the year, but things should be coming to a head now. Saturn, remember, is about structure and organisation. Uranus is about the rebellious need for change and desire for change. And this is going on. If you have a planet between 10 and 14 degrees of Taurus, if your Sun is there, then it is going to affect you really personally. But otherwise, it's more of a generational aspect. But you can see in lots of places, if you watch the news, there's a lot of rebelliousness, there's a lot of challenge to the structure and organisation. But the way through this, what this aspect is trying to teach us is that creative change is what's needed. It's no good destroying the structure when you have nothing else to replace it with. So it's creative change we need, and we need people to come up with the ideas, come up with the solutions that will benefit us all. On the 19th, we have a full moon. This full moon is in Gemini, and this is your 2nd house. The 2nd house is the house of Taurus. So we have a combination here. We have the moon and its feelings, we have Gemini and its thoughts, and we have the earth, which is the stability. So it's good to combine them all together, integrate them to make one whole. And you can use this to balance things in your life. You need to balance giving and receiving, because this is across the 2nd to the 8th house. You need to balance finances as well, your finances and others, and also your possessions and what you hold dear to you. Try and keep them all in good balance. Now, the full moon is opposite the Sun, which is making a positive aspect to Jupiter. Now, Jupiter's in the 10th house of your career and destiny, so any decisions you make at this time regarding this full moon, any change of direction or anything you start will prosper under this full moon. And also with Mercury in the equation as well, Mercury's making an aspect to Chiron in your 12th house. So there could be also an unconscious desire here to be a spokesperson, to take charge, if you like, of a group or a situation whereby you can assert yourself, but in a way that's in in the best interests of everyone. On the 20th, it's a good day to meet new people, maybe people from different backgrounds or from different cultures. It's also a day to make new discoveries. These new discoveries could be alter your beliefs or alter your philosophy on life. Then on the 24th, Mars is active again. This time he can work on his instincts because he makes a positive aspect to Chiron in the unconscious side. And you can overcome any challenges or wounds from the past to really push ahead and get things done. In the 8th house, it could be to do with finances, and you might find that you can overcome things that maybe have been a difficulty in the past, and now is a good time to resolve them. On the 26th, Mercury makes a sextile to Neptune in the 11th house, so you'll be more sensitive and aware of other people and their needs. So it's a good time to communicate and network with friends. The only possibility there of anything going wrong is a distraction, because when these two are together, fantasy comes into play, dreaminess, so you could easily get distracted from your task. There's no chance of that on 28th because Mars makes a positive aspect to Saturn. Saturn in that 10th house of career and destiny. Mars can now put all his concentration, all his effort into achieving, to solving your problems and getting the tasks completed. This is a practical energy, this is an organised energy, and it's very precise, so it's good for detailed work as well. On the 29th, it's a more inward day because we have Mercury making a conjunction with the retrograde Venus, so this energy turns inward and you won't be as communicative, as outgoing as normal. You'll be more contemplating on maybe relationship issues from the past. We also have Chiron in the 12th house being aspected by the Sun, so this could bring up hurts or fears from the past as well. And then we also have Jupiter in the mix making a square to the node, so this could bring up past issues. This could bring up again life lessons that maybe are connected with relationships and relating. So it's a good day to think about these, to see where you went wrong in the past and make corrections so you don't make the same mistake again going forward into the future. We finished the month on the 31st with an aspect to Uranus is in your first house from the Sun. So this is a good day to explore any new avenues that you're interested in. You've done a lot of contemplation over the last few weeks, so maybe now you come to some conclusions. It's a good time to take on some new experiences, take on something that maybe you wouldn't have dared do in the past, and this could be quite an exciting time. Thank you for watching. Hope you've enjoyed the review. If you'd like to see more, please subscribe. If you'd like to leave me a comment, I'll be glad to hear from you.